Good morning, good evening. We are live. This is the Kaizen Market Update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Red ink got you down? Relax. I'm going to help you out. We're also going to discuss RWA FOMO and sector rotation as it relates to AI. So we're going to go through news. We're going to go through red ink, and then hopefully we can go through some FOMO control, because the good news is everyone's pumped up, enthusiastic about crypto. The bad news is if you press things before it's ready, doesn't always work out. And even if it does, you get stressed out. We're going to just, okay, let's welcome who's here. Let's welcome who's here. We have Kay first on the stream as always. Alejandro, Zorbis, welcome. Okay, Lisa, Pete, TB, Stefan, good morning, right? Del Capio is here. Tyler, Ale, welcome. Crypto Steph, Mehet, Oswaldo, welcome. Steven, Malik, Caleb, Sean, Elazar, Cho, welcome. Kane, what is the coins in base? This looks like everyone is moving over to base. Yes. It's complicated. Felix, DYI, Cdoy, what's up? Triple S, hi. Okay, yeah. Something's going on base. The only thing I know how to play on base is optimism. You just have to be mindful that, like, when things go on base, how long it takes to get them off base. I'm still researching it. Okay, Snoopaloop, Ilis, Andres, Ethan, welcome. Okay, we're going to start with news because I think there's a lot of comedy in crypto, and we need to talk about it. Newest European Central Bank manager says it can cut rates quickly despite rising wages. Okay, so let's talk about this. Raising rates has not stopped inflation. Traditional monetary policy is not working because they printed money for, 15 years. The ECB printed so much money that they literally bought the entire government bond market in Europe, and interest rates were negative for an extended period of time. What does negative interest rates mean? That means instead of you giving someone money and them giving you interest, it meant you had, like, if you bought a German government bond, it meant you had to pay the government of Germany for holding your money. That's what negative rates were for years. Now, these guys want to cut rates, one, because whatever they've done hasn't worked. And two, when you're trying to implement sort of more stricter political regimes, letting the money printer run and letting things be easier on the people sometimes works. But I think this is more of an issue of people going, you know what, whatever we did didn't work. Now, of course, the market is down today because we have investment banks with massive hyperbole targets. The market always goes down after they do this. But it is interesting that I think this bank is we'll have to look it up. I think it's Scottish, English, something like that. ETH could reach 8,000 by the end of the year. Actually, I agree. My number is 7,000. So he's talking about if an ETF gets approved. Don't forget BlackRock's coming on chain. These things usually create a one-day correction. Now, I'm not showing the article because, I don't know if it's professional, but, supposedly there was a crypto group in London that had a party, and there was some silly things that went on at the party. Then it made the newspaper. Now, it wasn't terrible, but crypto has a unique way of being the only market that I've ever seen that can, like, instantly get excessive and kind of F itself in terms of the uptrend, right? The second we get obsessive, the second we get emotional, the second we get completely stupid, silly, fun, okay, FOMO, maybe. But when we start to get then bad taste, not good. For a couple days, not good. That's why it's down. In my opinion, that's why it's down today. But the good news is the newspaper is still bearish. Crypto's new close may not prove to be a good fit. The world's wildest market is borrowing the trappings of venerable institutions. Whatever, man. Venerable institutions are borrowing the cool factor from crypto. But as long as the Financial Times is still bearish, we're all in good shape, honestly. Now, this guy, I've decided SBF and whatever happens to him, especially if he gets off, like the latest talk on this guy is that, because FTX creditors are going to be getting their money back because of rising crypto prices, that this guy should somehow, get off because of lack of a prior criminal record. I don't know, man. He almost blew up the whole world. Then again, guys in legacy that blew up the whole world never went to jail. But, I would expect that if SBF gets off, that's going to trigger a whole massive host of negative media press coverage for crypto, which ironically is better. Like the more they try to FUD it, the more bullish it is. Like the Qcoin things, like, oh, let's FUD the market down 2 hours and then up. You're probably going to have the same thing today. 1-2 days downside, turns around, goes straight back up again. Or you have 2 or 3 soft days, and that gives you some time to get involved, which is why I'm trying to get everybody to chill out. Everyone wants to do a trade. I get it. But, let the market go down, let the market consolidate, and then we can make a move. We'll go over the charts. We will. I like this. One red hot cryptocurrency. Buy it now before it goes up 2,000%, according to Kathy Wood from ARK Investment. She's talking about Bitcoin going to $1 million. So that's a pretty funny article. And of course, I don't mind talking about things like this, honestly, because, our friends at SWIFT, the dollar payment system, they're going to launch their own CBDC. So even if the Fed doesn't do it, the globalists and the powers that be are going to have the payment network itself, SWIFT, try to issue a CBDC. I mean, I swear there's no end to these guys. There's no end. They just will not stop. And that's why crypto won't stop. Like they won't stop, so crypto won't stop. So when crypto gets down and you get down, don't. Because you know what? These people, they think their money is their money and your money is their money. So when you get down on crypto, don't. Okay. So here we are. Now they're coming after Binance. So Binance is having a hard time being attacked by multiple countries for multiple reasons. They got a shutdown in Russia. They have a tax evasion problem, Department of Justice, Philippines, Nigeria, detaining Binance executives. The more they persecute you, the stronger they make you. Now, I don't know if that makes Binance stronger, but, the more they persecute crypto, the more they tell you it's no good, the stronger it's going to be. Every time they do this and it holds, they make it stronger. Okay. Now, speaking of freedom, I can't discuss any of these things on YouTube, but, social disorder and personal freedom, they're big narratives of Ray Dalio. So if you don't know who that is, you can look that up. He's got a self-help book about this thick, and he's been in markets longer than I have. And, he's like, that's the biggest hedge fund ever. So the Democratic Party or the left in America is freaking out because a guy in the center who was a relative of one of the most famous presidents ever, John F. Kennedy. This is the son of Robert Kennedy, who was also famous, basically picked somebody to be his vice president candidate who is, young and super liberal, making the far left freak out that, oh my God, somebody in the middle left is coming along and they might embarrass us. And they've been trying to silence this guy. Now, okay, so the specifics of the politics don't matter. But if you have to have an emergency meeting and there's even talk that they're trying to get rid of third-party candidates, okay, it's high time, okay? We're seeing an Ethereum ETF coming out of Fidelity from Watcher Guru. Okay, hang on. So, breaking news, Fidelity updates Ethereum ETF application to include ETH staking. I was looking at some coin, ETHFi, the other day, ETH staking. You know what? Like I said, these guys mean business. The frightening chill of free speech. Apparently, free speech is scaring people. Fascism has changed, but it's not dead. There are people out there that think their money is their money and your money is their money. Now, let's talk about sector rotation. Post BlackRock, everybody was chasing real world assets. I understand that. That makes sense. You know, some of these things, like we're going to look at Dusk today. All right. But no one was looking at AI when it was going sideways to lower. And then all of a sudden, boom, you have 15% rally because 3 AI firms, with this guy as the thought leader, most likely, are talking about merging their tokens together, which is crazy. I don't even know how that works, but all those tokens are up 15% today because they want decentralized AI. So while everyone was chasing one narrative, the AI narrative, which, you know, I've been discussing, you know, nobody was paying attention until today. So like this idea of sector rotation is like, you don't always chase the hot thing. Like the people I mean, there's RWA stuff that's good. Don't get me wrong. But if you're chasing stuff, especially at high levels, most likely, you know, the people selling it to you are the people who were buying it when no one else was doing it. All right. But, and again, we'll go through it. Okay. So just in case you think there's no free market solutions to things, a former president basically had some stock that went public and it went up a lot. Now it's a wild valuation, but the guy found an answer. Now there's also a token for this guy that topped and didn't do well. Probably, I mean, it did fantastic, and it may do better. But this guy used the concept of a token and issued a stock instead. So instead of a blank coin, he issued a blank stock and found the way around it. Free markets still matter. And crypto is one of the only free markets out there. And again, this Ethereum news is epic. Let's just check the market to see if it's having an impact or not. So not necessarily having an impact on ETH. Solana is getting smacked. I do want to get into Solana. Like if they smack the market all day today, I want to find a support point in Solana. Let's go through it. Okay, let's see who's here, see what's going on. Is there any chance live can be a couple of hours so it's friendly for the people living in the eastern side of the globe? And you're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning? All right, sir. Well, I definitely appreciate getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. We will see what we can do to get a night stream done for you, either through this group or some other way. All right. So, but we appreciate that. We will do our best. Okay. PowerPoint. Let's go. Okay, PowerPoint. Okay, here comes PowerPoint. So this is your market update. Okay, Solana on a daily chart. Now this is, I call this bird on a wire. This is a moving average around 185. It's drawn via a quantitative system. So it's not a 9-day, it's not a 5-day, it's not a 50-day. So Solana's been hanging around here, and I call it the bird on the wire getting ready to fly. Right now, currently this morning, they're smacking Solana. They have smacked it below this moving average a couple times. As long as Solana doesn't fall apart, I would expect this to be a launching point for a big buying climax in Solana. So the new game is find a buy point in Solana. Now, one of the reasons why the market is down today is you do have the 13 top signal on the daily chart of Bitcoin. Now, 13 signals usually do, at a minimum, they usually give you one down day. Sometimes they can be a permanent top, which I don't know if we're expecting a permanent top, But this probably puts a lid on Bitcoin near 70 for at least 2 days. Now here, Bitcoin just ignored it and went up and then fell out of bed. So I don't know. So not freak out. It's going to be a corrective couple of days. Now here's Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart, right? So you have this head and shoulders bottom that we talked about, which is bears trying to press the market lower 3 different times. It doesn't work. And then Bitcoin breaks out. And now you have some serious chop, right? You have wild action on your way to 75K. So this is a big trend line off a daily chart. Basically, this is like Bitcoin's proverbial bird on a wire at 70. I would be perfectly content to see Bitcoin fly back and forth. And when you get markets like this, over trading is like the thing you need to avoid. Like, don't overtrade. Like, if you get something clean, okay, great. But if it's not clean, don't do it. And the only thing like I'm tempted to catch the falling knife in really right now is Solana. But I'm not opposed to doing Bitcoin if they smack it and they give you something good. I don't know. I just don't know why they would. They kind of did this morning already. But the market's, right now, I don't think the market's going to like run away from you. Now, some reminders as we approach month end. This dotted line is drawn by a quantitative system. Bitcoin broke out, made the return move, and is going to continue. So whatever you're looking at this morning in red ink, like every day, yeah, it's the same chart, but you just have to remember these things. You have to remember, when it's down, it's like, oh God, I want to sell everything. Don't do it. Just relax. I know it's not that there's something wrong with you that you feel upset. It's not. Or that you feel in a hurry. It's like, oh my God, I have to get in, or whatever it is. These are perfectly natural things. This is why you're in a pro group, right? Because we all have these feelings. So I'm here to help you with them. Now, Solana, again, this line I think comes in around 180. So what's happening in Solana? Well, they kind of broke it so far this month, and now they're going to come back, maybe pay it a little visit towards the end of the month. No problem. You guys want to sell me Solana at 170 something or 180? I'll take it. Right. I know we're looking at Jupiter and we're trying to like massage certain technical levels. Let's wait till Solana bottoms. Then maybe we go into these different Solana coins. Okay. Now, Solana versus Bitcoin. Here's a hint for your trading view. A lot of times when you're looking at altcoins, especially if you're trying to say to yourself, all right, well, Bill says I want to do sector rotation, and it means that, I should try to buy stuff that's, underperforming and maybe take profits of things that are outperforming. So one trick from 2017 is to look at alts in terms of BTC, or alt like Solana alts in terms of Solana. This is Solana versus Bitcoin, notably coming gradually down to a 38% retracement. So one more dipsy-do in Solana versus Bitcoin, and you're going to be on support. Hello, right? Especially support. Like, not a lot of people are looking at this. So, your Solana alt versus Solana, your Bitcoin, your ETH versus Bitcoin, or your ETH coin versus ETH, etc. Doge. Hey, everyone's talking about AI this morning. Good. I was talking about AI a lot. That was talking about Doge. Litecoin. I don't have Litecoin here, but like Doge is like not budging from this hidden pivot point at 18 cents. So don't be surprised when all this stops, if Doge is like still there, that it just blows through. Yeah. And if they give you a dip, well, great. I mean, future of money, AI, real world assets are in there. I still think DeFi matters, right? Tech, cloud storage, all these things, the Magnificent Seven from equities, right? Like whatever they're not looking at, look at. Okay, dollar yen, we're keeping an eye on that. Okay, again, here's AGIX, right? Nothing's happening. Boom. Consolidated just below the resistance, and bam, when it goes through, it goes. Now, if you want to jump into something just below resistance, I'm not really opposed to that. You just can't get too upset if they flush you out. But the trade has been in these high quality coins, particularly since over here, this Williams oscillator got near zero. you know, this AI stuff, boom, this could go to $2. I know they're talking about merging tokens, and I don't exactly know what that means beyond the charts. You do not want to get in front of these AI tokens, man. These things, I mean, the valuation of NVIDIA, the valuation of equities versus crypto in everything. It's just crypto's just so cheap. It's ridiculous. I mean, Fetch had a 13 top on DeMark, didn't go down, and now is breaking out above 3 and could go to 4, assuming it continues to trade organically with this token merge. Okay, now let's go to what everyone's pumped up about. So Ondo, right? Real world assets. This is the big boy now. Assuming I've got this structure drawn right, we have a lot of volatility around 86 cents. It's not really cooperating. It's like chopping people up, which either means one of two things. I got the wrong structure and I got to draw something else, or it's just choppy and you have smart money distributing this to people coming in late. Okay. Now, we don't know what the answer to that is yet, but if the thing remains choppy, you don't have to trade it, right? We can just watch 86 cents. Like when things break out, it looks like this. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get this like big green candle, okay, then you know it's breaking out. But if it's just getting chopped up, you know, basically what you're doing is you're just handing your money to like trading predators. You know what I'm saying? Like trading predators. Don't do that. I mean, I know we have guys in the group that are professional traders, and I'm sure if you watch them, you know, the market cascades down and they buy, right? They're taking advantage of people's emotional selling. And when everyone's just grabbing at the top, like, oh my God, I got to have it. They're like, okay, yeah. Uh-huh. You don't, if that's what you do, great. But if that's not what you do, those guys are out there in every market. Okay. In the futures pit, when it was all done by humans, right? Where everybody would like raise their hand to be like, one bid, we'll pay 1 and we'll sell it 2. They would flash the signals. It was the guys in the pit versus the banks that would call in on the phone and signal orders into the pit. It was called locals. That's the people in the pit. And paper, that was the nickname for the investment banks. Now, I had the benefit of like seeing this in person. So I know about traders versus big trend trading banks. You know, obviously, I'm one of the few boomers out there, and I may be the only boomer in crypto who talks about this regularly. You don't want to fall prey to people who just take advantage of day trading moves. Okay, now GFI. Okay, so Goldfinch. So now there's this whole range of real world asset plays. You know, Dusk, Ondo, and Ohm look like the real ones, but again, these things have mooned hard. Okay, GFI, I've noticed this Fibonacci extension structure. This stopped a couple different narratives. This stopped AI, this 1.618. You know, markets moon to this point and then they consolidate. So GFI at 4.4, yeah, that was a big level. It rushed up there. Look, let me be honest with you. It's not that I don't like these plays because Dusk looks great and Ondo has an obvious narrative. But you just got to remember when BlackRock comes in, yes, they're going to tokenize a lot of stuff, but I don't know if BlackRock is going to partner with every little small crypto project. BlackRock coming in and tokenizing everything affects the value of the entire ecosystem. So if crypto is worth 2.5 trillion, crypto should be worth 4 trillion. So yes, these projects could go up. But I don't know if you look at this chart and go, oh yeah, I missed it. I'm upset. Don't get upset. Because when BlackRock comes in, man, it's ETH at 5K, it's Solana at 270. You know, the whole ecosystem has to be repriced. Okay. Okay, here's Dusk. Now, Dusk looks like it's breaking out, right? It's like 61 cents is the level, 90 cents is the next level, and the next level is even higher above that. So if you have a couple crappy days in the market, and then the market turns up, and then Dusk corrects and doesn't go down or actually continues to grind higher, you know, if you must FOMO into something in this space, FOMO into something that is above support and is staying there. If something is waffling at support, it either isn't support or it's just like chopping everyone up. So somewhere in here, there's a trade. This could be it. This could be it. But I mean, again, if you missed it, wait to see what happens when, say, the market goes back up tomorrow and maybe dusk comes off. If dusk holds, then the next move is up. Okay, DMTR, right? These are all over Twitter now. So, here is like your BlackRock move, and there's the correction. So it goes from 4 cents to 25 cents and then comes off. Okay. Now, can it resume? Yes, above 19 cents. Do you have to be in a hurry to do that? No, because everyone who was buying it at 5 cents is now distributing it. It's called distribution in the textbook, right? See how this, generally speaking, is like sideways to up, sideways up. Yeah, that's the venture capitals and the projects selling it. So I'm not trying to say anything bad about this particular coin or any particular coin. I'm just saying, when you chase, if you're going to do a momentum play, make sure it's fundamentally good and above support clearly and staying there, right? So if that's happening, great. If it's not happening, don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. Okay, and that's the market update. Okay, so let's go back to live TA so we can get the guys in Japan in bed. We'll have to do something where we do. We'll have to help you guys at night. Okay, so long-term DCA. Everyone. Okay, let's talk about DCA, right? So DCA is something that they use in equities, right? It assumes the market can only go down so low. So somebody will start DCAing in crypto when something is at its high. You'll buy it 2 or 3 times, and then they'll blow it out to the downside, and you're out of capital. What I like to do in crypto, I mean, if you're doing things long-term, okay. I mean, if you're doing things long-term, I think, ETH has got a lot more long-term potential because it hasn't done anything. If you're trading, I think it's Solana. Solana could go to 400 and then come back to 180. That's the type of thing Solana could do. And, if it goes to 400 and you start to DCA, you get wiped out. So you have to be careful. Like, people who DCA trade 2 times a year. I'm not saying don't DCA. I'm saying tactical DCA, like I'm going to DCA on Monday and DCA on Thursday. And if I take heat next Tuesday, I'm going to be upset. If that's what's happening, that's not, DCA is not the right strategy. Okay. If you're thinking just long-term, I just want to do a couple of trades and forget it. I think, you do a trade around the eclipse, you do a trade around the halving, and then you set it and forget it and put a stop in. So DCAing is usually for long term. But if you can't take heat, you're not DCAing. Okay. Just saying. If you can't take the heat, don't DCA. Because people DCA'd after Bitcoin went to 70 the first time. They took heat and they got upset. DCA is supposed to help you not get upset. Right. So the thing to DCA in the beginning, if you're new, probably is like ETH and Bitcoin, even though those things can be volatile. Solana is like a tactical instrument. It's like, okay, they're selling Solana. I want to grab some. Then Solana goes up 40%. Then you take the money. Then you put it back in Bitcoin. And I'm not trying to tell you, if this sounds a little bit complicated, yeah, that's because it is. The key with DCA is if it went 30% below your final DCA point, would you be upset? And if the answer is yes, then you either need a different strategy or you need to be more patient with DCA. Okay. Stefan thinks Sol at 178 is a great thing to look at. Okay. So here's live TA. Okay. So here's Ondo coming back. So we're doing the dance around 86 cents. That's interesting, right? I know I've been talking about Jupiter. See if I can find Jupiter. Kind of like the future of finance. Okay. This is like the 4-hour chart. I don't know. Maybe I can put a fresh structure on here just for. Okay. So for Jupiter, looks like there's really good support. Let's do this. I like that. Oh, look at that. Okay. So Jupiter, really good support at $1.24. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to grab some Jupiter, go ahead. It's not investment advice, but, like buying stuff when it's down. Like I love buying stuff that is, that makes fundamental sense, particularly since, again, look at the candles. Look what they have been doing to people, right? It's like, okay, they break it out. It's going to the moon. They ramp it up. Oh, no, it goes down. Oh, they ramp it up again. Oh, it crashes. Now it's on support. See what I'm saying? Like, this is just the organic way markets can move, particularly when there are consensus plays that people are like super interested in. Like when Jupiter was like, nah, you didn't get a lot of this price action. You did in Ondo. Like they always try to shake you out. What I'm trying to drive home this morning is please don't shake yourself out. Don't shake yourself out. Like if you can figure out how to do the trade with a decent stop and be relaxed about it, please do it, right? If it's stressing you out, wait, right? Because if you do a trade, if you do something and you're in a hurry and you're doing it for the sake of doing it, right? It's over trading. Like just go for a walk, turn off the screen. William Gann, one of the most famous technical analysts ever, a guy who sat and kept charts by hand, worked night and day, said you don't have to look at the tape. That's what they call the stock market, because they used to look at it on a printed ticker tape that came out of a machine. Don't look at the tape every day. Don't look at the tape all the time. Don't. People are like, okay, I'm going to stare at it. I'm going to stare at the support point. Oh, what's happening? Don't do that. Right? Don't do that. If it's there, it'll be clear. If it's not clear, then preserving your capital and not handling it to some predator or some bot who's taking advantage of the gyrations. Okay, final word is people, red ink is good, right? If they're selling it on whatever they're selling it on, right? The case for freedom, the case for crypto as an instrument of freedom. Don't forget that. I can't say that on public stuff at all. Nowhere. The case for crypto as an instrument of freedom. Now, obviously, we all want to make money. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. But we have to control our emotions and remember that even if you're losing money, red ink is an opportunity. It feels like, oh my God, but if you say, okay, crypto is the future for 6 different reasons. I can't remember all 6. You don't have to. Red ink within reason, red ink above support or around support, red ink in narratives you know are good is your friend. That's the market update for today. We'll see you tomorrow.